Hi, everybody. Welcome to the AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by Karla and Radu.
What's up?
It's a beautiful day. I don't know why I'm saying that.
It is, though. You're right, because it's
though,
gray May and the sun is out.
Ooh wee! Yeah,
We're
that's
stuck in this apartment.
That's okay. We want to record outside. That's crazy. Yeah, I have a TikTok accountability challenge. I think I told you guys. I got to pay 3 different people $20 each if I don't post 3 TikToks every single day.
Wow.
And yeah, it's kind of cool because actually I just sometimes will think of a TikTok idea because I'm like, I gotta produce. And I have this weird old memory come back to me. This is, you gotta do spelling bees when you were a kid?
I did the history bee.
History bee.
Or sorry, geography bee.
Yes, I remember the geography bee.
Yeah,
and they'd be like, is there multiple choice or how did that work? I don't remember.
Sometimes it's filmed, whatever. It was like a weird competition.
How'd you do?
I got to state a couple times.
Not bad.
But spelling, I still can't spell.
Interesting. I have not noticed that about you. I'm very judgmental
Because we all got that auto type shit on. We know
that's right.
True,
It kind of corrects
yeah.
it.
You should read my letters.
I don't want to.
I do.
So I was good. I was pretty good.
Whoa.
I got to regionals. Like I was a high, I was like what is that called? Like an early seed. I don't know. Sports
Indian
terms.
kid.
What's that? No. Sure. That's funny. But anyway, I had this memory. So I got to regional. We went to Tucson, Arizona. Ooh. And kind of the word
fancy.
I know, right? Kind of famous for the word capital of South Arizona. And anyway, so I go and I missed mozzarella because they got a double L in there.
Yeah.
I got the double
You're
Z.
talking about mozzarella?
Mozzarella.
Oh.
Mozzarella. So anyway, the kid who won though, he had like a big head. He had like a big forehead. He had like a fucking 5 head. And I just remember that after, I was bummed. This is all I had. I wasn't really good at anything else. And my dad really just went in on the guy's head. He's like, yeah, I knew that. He goes, that kid had a big head. What did you expect? He goes, as soon as I saw that kid's head, I knew he was going to win.
Wow.
And just went in like for the whole drive. And I just remember I wasn't really mad. I was like, yeah, what do you expect?
Yeah, big ass head.
Faced off a big ass head. He got a big ass brain. And so I lost.
Yeah.
That's just, what are you going to do?
It's like seeing like a much taller guy, but like, it wasn't your day. Like when you're playing basketball or something. There's nothing you could do to overcome.
When you said he had a big head, I thought you meant like metaphorically. Yeah.
No, he was very humble. It didn't. The metaphor wasn't there. He was actually a sweet. Well, I don't really know him, but you give there's a little. Oh, congrats, you won! And he was like, "Thank you." Mm-hmm. And his head started to talk independently. But yeah, that was a little memory that came to me.
Oh, that's nice.
I had my bros movie night. Karla, sorry, it's only for bros.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Some would consider me a bro, but it's fine.
And that's actually, I've had I had to have a conversation because I have a friend who's non-binary. And I was like, is it awkward? Because then I'm kind of like alluding to the fact that they might have been born. And then I was like, I don't know. But I finally just told them, I was like, if you're a bro, you're welcome to come.
Yeah.
That's a good way to present it.
That's a great way.
And they were like, I don't want to go. I was like, that's super fair.
Yeah,
Super
because I
fair.
do. Well, never mind.
Respect.
Were you going to say bros has like a negative connotation?
Yeah, well, I was going to, yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, all we watch is hardcore pornography. So those are the movies we watch.
Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain. Yeah. No, we actually watch really stuffy art movies.
Yeah.
We watch Lost Highway.
Like The Lighthouse?
Synecdoche, New York. The Lighthouse is a good suggestion.
Oh, God, definitely don't invite me for that one.
But there's no misogyny. It's just, because there's and this is what we actually had an argument about yesterday, the male loneliness epidemic. Have you guys heard about this?
Absolutely
You heard
have.
about this?
You heard about this? What do we think of this?
I've heard about the cancer spreading across the country. Yes.
What's the cancer?
Well, they say that isn't it like the male loneliness epidemic is because it's kind of like incel energy.
Well, I blame it on the police. In the 80s and 90s, men were lonely as well, and so they started forming gangs, street gangs.
That makes sense.
And that was fun.
It was fine. It was actually celebrated into some respect, and then the government started breaking that up, and they're like, "Hey, only we can do that,"
Only we can have
Everything
gangs.
is the government's fault.
Well, I think what I don't like about what I've seen, to get a little serious here, is I've seen women kind of spin this as like men are bad and men don't care, and so that kind of put me off. Because I was like, oh, that just feels like you're mad at men. And then I started Googling because then I started wondering, because I had actually originally heard it as just the loneliness epidemic, not male loneliness. you know. And I was chronically lonely myself. But I actually always thought that was about LA. I didn't think that was a national thing. I was like, LA is famously lonely. You guys have heard that?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I get into there over there on that internet, and I'm seeing that women are lonely too. But yeah, so I brought it up last night. We got in a pretty heated debate. But like the consensus view from the people at this party were straight men just go to work in the gym and go home. And they were like, Danny, you're a unique kind of guy. And I didn't really appreciate the tone there. I didn't know what the hell that meant. No. But that women and gays, they be gathering, but not the straight males. I don't know, Karla, what was your take?
On the male loneliness epidemic?
Well, like for instance, at our social club, there's not that many straight guys around. And the straight guys that are around,
there's so many straight guys.
That's not what I've heard from the other women. Or that
maybe
a lot
my gaydar's off. I don't know.
Or that a lot of the straight guys there are married. People like Mr. Radu here today.
Yeah, that doesn't make them not straight.
It's a type of gay, yeah.
It's a type of gay. You didn't know
Gay
that?
for your wife.
Married. It's LGBTQM.
Yeah, married.
The T in LGBT stands for traditional marriage.
Traditional marriage. You didn't know that?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked into the facts of male loneliness epidemic, but...
Well, no, but do you know men? Yeah.
Yeah. The impression I always got, though, off of the male loneliness epidemic was, like men not having their own circles and like being able to hang out with each other more and like feel safe with each other and like talk about their feelings and stuff. Where nowadays there are a lot of men's circles that are happening, I feel like, that are like therapy circles or like group therapy for men only of all kinds, straight or gay. But I agree that everyone is lonely. It's not just a male thing. I think that the men just don't know how to deal with it. And that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
I'm with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've thought about it because I actually felt a little weird because so many of my friends are women. And then I'm like, I feel this is like an exclusionary event. But I just do think it comes with the territory of co-ed events that there's a little bit of fronting. Just a little bit.
Just Mitch.
You know, it's kind of like...
What, saying you're not lonely or something?
If it's a co-ed event, it's just like I'm not going to be as vulnerable or open it up because I want to impress some fucking chick. That's just how it's going to play out a little bit. Just throws the vibe a little. Not throws the vibe. It's just a different vibe, you know?
I could see that. I guess it depends what the event is, because if you're going to an event specifically to open up and like talk about vulnerable shit like that, it's like, then why wouldn't you? Because the women are there for that. So that would actually be a turn on for them.
Interesting. I guess I think for me, it impairs. If there's a woman I'm attracted to, I don't want to like start pouring out my shit.
Yeah. And I definitely think for anyone, there's a difference of how deep you go, how quickly, because it could be you being like, yeah, like I get lonely and like saying it more matter of fact than be like, man, I was so lonely the other day. I just had to put my hand on my dick. Like that's different. You know, I don't know how men
I don't know what you think happens at
lives.
These meetings, but that was a wild one for me.
I'm just saying like, or like I was so lonely. I cried into my journal and this and that. It's like I think there's layers to it. It's not just like open up or don't. I think it's like there's ways to like talk about how you're feeling without it becoming the most vulnerable thing anybody's ever heard.
I think the undercurrent though to what he was speaking about is that there's like external senses of community created by oppression, right? Women, minorities, gay people, whatever, have more of a sense of community, not because they have all that much in common, besides being oppressed top down structurally.
Yeah.
And so then the oppressor class, quote unquote, is left around being like, well, we don't have anything in common. We didn't actually come together and do this. Like 10 families did, and we're just part of the pawns to do the thing. So their reaction to creating their own community is like white nationalism and men's rights guys.
No, I mean, that's what they always say, right? Like, I don't have white privilege.
Yeah. Just heritage, passion, and pride, brother.
I mean, I was like this for a second where I was kind of like, I'm a lone wolf. And I realized like it's socializing is a skill and you just got to keep building it, you know? And then with time you get better at it and then it becomes so much more enjoyable and rewarding.
Yeah. I mean, somebody not the other day, but like years ago, I guess it was now, was like, yeah, you're kind of a loner. And I was like, anybody who knows me knows I'm like constantly around people, meeting new people. But then I thought about it and I was like, actually, low key, I am a loner because I have so many different circles of people, but I go through them alone. Like I don't have a full Venn diagram of a life where things are intersecting with each other. Now I do. But then it was like I would constantly go to events alone, go to new groups alone and do things alone and meet people. but there was nothing like, there was no through thread that attached all these things other than me. And
No
that's when I
church,
started.
if
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah. There was no congregation section for all the parts of my life. So I was kind of a loner because I was kind of doing everything by myself, even though I was doing a lot of things.
It's a tough thing, but you gotta just get out there and grind and meet people. And I always was like, oh, how come I'm not in a big group chat? Boo, boo, boo. And I just had to make my own big group chats.
Yeah, and find a friend to invite places.
Truth.
That's what I say.
You gotta just fucking hustle it, boys and women. I think there's some lonely women out there.
There's so many. I'm lonely sometimes. I mean,
Really?
Yeah, of course. There's lonely moments. My whole family's on the East Coast. Like Mother's Day, I literally signed up to do seasonal work at a florist so that I wouldn't just be like chilling on Mother's Day. And I FaceTime my family, and it's always like 30 minutes of like, hey guys, and then like I feel sad because they're all still together and I'm not.
That's tough. But you know, it's funny though that we talk about men not like reaching for this is that I met this girl once and she goes, yeah, I got a job as a bartender and don't even need the money. I just did it to meet people.
Yeah.
And I feel like there is women are a little bit sharper on just like, yeah, you got to just go. Because men will be like, oh, I need a job. I'm above that role.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like sometimes you got to just shut up, put your ego
It's
away.
not for the money though.
Yeah, it's not for the money.
It's for the loneliness epidemic.
So Radu, you had a story about Lily's half brother. That's your wife's half brother.
My wife's half brother. You've been over to my house.
I
both
have,
of you
yeah. It's a
been?
great little patch.
Just you.
yeah, I haven't been.
You have okay. When you
But I'd like
we
to
excluded
imagine.
Karla, remember? We were trying to keep her lonely.
that was part of it. Yeah.
It's fine.
Do you remember the big giant paintings everywhere? There's like kind of frightening full size paintings all over the fucking place.
I believe you.
That's hilarious. You don't remember.
I don't remember.
They're like faceless people doing all kinds of weird stuff.
I liked them.
It's my wife's half brother who painted all of those.
Okay.
They're really cool, but they're really scary. There's all kinds of weird things happening in them. He's been an artist his whole life. He lives in New York now. Doesn't have a phone. He had like a landline for the longest time. Can't leave the state because of some sort of mental health law thing after committing an assault or something or whatever. So he's not like, he didn't grow up with my wife and he's not really in her life nowadays.
Okay.
But for a period of time when right before we were about to get married, I guess his health was getting better and he was like online a lot and reaching out to the whole family and me specifically for some reason. We never met, but he'd hit me up on Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
And at first, the first couple times it was just friendly and nice. And then eventually it was immediately what all schizophrenics do, which is like letting you know about the plans the aliens have and like how, a musician is connected to the stock market or whatever, right? And the particular guy that he had a fascination with was Red Hot Chili Peppers guitarist, John Frusciante.
Oh.
Okay, I don't know him.
Very
Flea's
talented.
the bassist.
Him and
He's
only
the
him, I
bassist.
guess.
He's the guitarist for most of the famous Chili Peppers era, basically.
Can we convert this to Gen Z? Who's Red Hot Chili Peppers for them? Like, what's that guy's name? The one, Joey Salami or
One
something?
guy, Joey Salami.
You know, the guy with all the tattoos? Not Post Malone, the other
Rodney
guy.
Dangerfield.
No.
The one married to
The
Megan.
guy is really tall.
Jelly Roll.
No, close. It's so close to Jelly Roll. He's
don't.
really tall.
It's the guy who's married to Megan Fox.
Yeah, something like
Machine
that.
Gun Kelly.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Joey Salami. See,
Yeah.
they have the same rhythm. Same difference.
Yeah. So like Machine Gun Kelly, but this guy's really talented at music and people like him. People like him. Fun fact, Frusciante was so talented, Frank Zappa wanted him in his band, but he was like, you have to choose between being in my band or heroin. And Frusciante was like, I'm going to do heroin.
Oh, wow.
Ended up in the Chili Peppers instead. Anyway.
We got under the bridge out of that, though.
Exactly, yeah. Also, my point is, spell Frusciante. If you don't know it off the top of your head, just try to figure it out.
Fershante.
I have a
even
different
close.
one. F-R-U.
Yeah, it's
C-S-I-A-N-T-E.
something like that,
Wow.
probably. I don't know which
High
one's correct.
fructose Frusciante.
Oh, you don't even
But
know the right way?
the point is, this guy Jeremiah is his name. He's texting me about John Frusciante, but spelling my name incorrectly.
Radu.
Yes, 4 letters.
How do you even spell it wrong?
I've seen it a million different ways spelled incorrectly because when you
Ds?
if someone's like, hey, spell like Radu
Yeah.
or whatever, and you don't
2
even
Ds, I
pronounce
like
it right,
that.
people are like, oh, 2 Ds, an N, an H, whatever.
An E-A-U-X.
O-R-A-H. What'd you say?
I said an E-A-U-X.
Ooh,
Yeah, there you
very
go,
French
yeah.
Radu.
No, well, it'd be like Louisiana Radu.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Cajun mode.
But so he's
Can't spell your name.
can't spell my name, and he's messaging me on Facebook where it shows you my name like 3 inches above where he's typing. And so I confront my wife and her sister about this. And I was like, what's going on with this? Is he just like racist or something? They're like, God, no, he's schizophrenic. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean he's like stupid or like demented or like mentally incapacitated.
Right.
He might be hearing more voices than regular or having extra thoughts than what, but he's not like, incapacitated in these. And he's spelling a very difficult name flawlessly every time.
But he likes that guy.
Exactly. The voices are like, spell it wrong to slide him.
Yeah, like he can spell Rockefeller or Bilderberg Group, no problem.
Right.
But then RADU, he's adding like extra like Arabic stuff in there.
Right. That's funny.
And so am I because everyone in the family is just like, oh yeah, obviously Radu harbors ill will for the demented. That's what that is. Like he hates mentally ill people. And I'm like, no, this one guy that I've never met annoys me because he's purposely smelling my
I think you
never
were
met him.
Being pretty chill just by having conversations with someone you didn't even meet.
Sure.
But you were enjoying that. Let's not.
A little bit, but I was
to Conspiracy Town.
No, because I didn't want to feed into it because I'd love to talk nonsense with a normal person, but when someone's actually out of their mind, I'm like, oh, this is worse than enabling to be like,
Yeah.
So what would you say if he was like, oh, they're under my skin or whatever? How would you respond to that?
If I was mad, I'd be like, dude, they're deeper than you think. You gotta get rid of that skin, brother.
Keep digging.
Most of the time I wouldn't respond at all. That's really the trick is to not respond, try to get in touch with their caregiver or try to be like, hey man, is this whatever. If you know them well enough.
Right.
There's a whole, like I had a friend who did have a full on bipolar episode and was like, losing his mind for several days. We had to get him committed. He thought he was talking to Kanye all the time. And he was like, part of fixing the stock market is like sending this message to Kanye. And and now Kanye is the one losing his mind publicly.
Oh, this is before that.
This is before. This is 5 years ago. So I'm wondering now, I'm like, when you lose your mind, when you're a schizophrenic or any kind of whatever, you just glob on to like the top 10 famous people.
Yeah.
And they're in your life all the time and you're sending them messages or whatever. And now Kanye's lost his mind and he started saying like pro-Nazi stuff,
Yeah.
And I wonder if like,
he was saying that years ago as well.
I wonder if millions of schizophrenics around the world are like, okay, so he's getting some of my messages. Not everything, but some of this stuff is getting through.
Yeah.
Like, finally, he's listening.
I think Kanye is genuinely sad because it's just like it's so far gone at this point where it's like clearly you're just like extremely mentally ill. And I don't know. I mean, I was putting together that DJ set when I was DJing prom and I was like, God, there's just so many bangers, especially in our era. Like there's a lot. Like I was like, oh yeah, Kanye has like, I don't know, 2 or 3. No, it's not 2 or 3.
Many.
It's like a dozen. Like the guy had bangers.
Well, dude, that's also a modern feeling to be like, should we separate the art from the whatever?
Artist.
Like, there's no way when they were like exploiting Starry Night, they're like, hold on, but this guy's mentally ill. They're like, yeah, fuck him, he's dead. We're gonna make more money off of him.
Yeah. Well, like Elon Musk is a fucking monster and a nightmare person and like a psycho megalomaniac. But I'm like, but I think he knows what he's doing. Whereas Kanye, I'm like, you're off your rocker. You're off your rocker completely, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
Sometimes I think we give people too much credit that they're off their rocker and they're really not.
But I mean, the Nazis would have killed Kanye in a second. It's like they would not have taken your side.
In an 808 and a heartbeat.
Aren't Nazis on the side of whoever is also a Nazi?
No. That's the funny. I love making this distinction between communists and fascists. Communists might seem similar to Nazis because they're like, you have to do what we say. But if you just pretend to do whatever they're down with, no reprisals, no consequences. In fascism and Nazism, there's no way to become the in-group.
Right.
You're just
unless
the thing.
You're in the group.
You're in the group or you're an enemy of the state. It's like a false dichotomy immediately.
Interesting. I learned something new.
Taking us out of Nazi town. Karla, you said you had a crazy landlord story for us.
I've been looking for an apartment, as we've discussed over the last 100 episodes. I'm still looking.
We need this girl to get some shelts.
Please help me. I have been looking everywhere. Somebody at our social club recently was like, hey, there's a 1-bedroom popping up where I live. So I was like, oh, cool. Like, hook it up. It's not even on listings yet. You can get the in.
Early.
I go to this 1-bedroom apartment, beautiful 1940s style. Everything is like check-in, right? Then the landlord, first of all, before I go see it, the person at our social club was like, yeah, just like heads up when you call the landlord, like he's, or building manager. He's, you know, like, he's an interesting dude. He's interesting. Just like know that. And I was like, okay.
Uh-oh.
So I call the number.
Like he has a collection of spoons? What kind of interesting?
Just wait. So I call the number and it goes to voicemail. So I start leaving a voicemail. Hey, it's Karla Espino. I'm trying to find an apartment. I would love to blah, blah, blah. I'm in the middle of my sentence. Hello? I was like, were you listening to my voice message? He's like, yes. And I was like, yeah, I'm interested in the apartment. He's like, okay. I'm like, can I come see it? Like, this is nice. So then we start talking. I go see it. I meet this guy. My God, I couldn't write a better character. He has a handlebar mustache that looks fake. Yeah. He is talking about his heyday, about all the years that were the best years of his life, this and that. Years. He shows me the apartment. We're talking. Landlords love me because I like what's it called when you're like chewing it up with someone and you're like not talking shit, but you're just like getting along.
Shooting the shit, having the fun.
Yeah, shooting the shit with them.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, well, like, do you want to come see the paperwork? It's like in my apartment. They have like the building manager at the front of the apartment where everyone like walks in. The door's always open. So I'm like, yeah, sure. So I walk into this man's apartment and I'm like, oh, so he has a cat named Weasel. And Weasel. Yeah, I said Weasel. Okay. Weasel pops out of the bushes whenever he wants. Super cute. So I'm like petting Weasel. But I noticed there's like stacks of cash everywhere. There's totally 8 legit bowls of food on the floor. And I was like, do you have multiple cats? He goes, no, I just like Weasel to have his like pick of what kind of food he wants. So I just put out 8 different flavors for him. And when you say
stacks of cash,
are we
talking about like how high of a stack?
Like a foot high, multiple of them.
A foot?
Yeah. Like this. Is this a foot?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a foot.
And then of hundies, or do we see the
I didn't look that
denoms?
Close.
Okay.
I didn't look that close.
Casual cash pile.
And on top of that, he has a mannequin in every single window, dressed with clothes on. So when I first walked in the apartment, I was like, oh my God, your mannequin scared me. He goes, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, it's the only way to keep the Babadook away.
Yeah, and I was like, he's like, well, my windows are facing the street. So, you know, when people see someone in the window, they won't come here. I was like, yeah, so is this a safe apartment? And he was like, yeah, you know, there was just one person who like tried to break into a girl's house at 2 a.m. like a year ago. But other than that, it's been fine. And he starts talking to me. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, who is this guy? He's in a huge 2-bedroom, 2-bath, stacks of cash, beautiful cat. He starts talking about all these side hustles that he has. He's like, did you know you could become a pool attendant in 1 month online for $1,000? Really easy to get certified. Then he's like, do you need a side hustle? Do you know people? Did you know people?
What is going on?
Did you know people pay people to go from out of town, pay people to go to houses and rentals? You know, like when someone's moving from out of town, they'll pay you to go take pictures of the place and tour it, to report back to them because they don't get to see the place in person before they move here.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's like a website for that and this and that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually really interesting. I used to be a real estate photographer. Like, can I get that website? He's like, yeah, I'll let you know when I finish setting it up. And I'm like,
you're building it.
So it's your website.
It's a Weebly.
Yeah.
So then he's like, oh, do you want to tour? Like the 2 bedrooms here are very nice. Like I get this place for $2,100 just for me, but I get it for free since I'm the building manager. So he's like, give me the tour. Huge, like literal 75-inch TVs in every room. And I'm like, thinking to myself, I'm talking to this guy and I'm like, dude, am I jealous of this person?
Yeah. This is so weird. So funny.
Am I jealous of this man named David who's just living his best fucking life in his 2-bedroom, 2-bath with stacks of cash and a cute
mannequins?
Old cat?
Sounds like a guy you can be late on rent with.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, what is that cash pile? That's really, it's going to come back to that.
Oh, maybe it was the other thing. He was like, oh, this is the washing area. It only takes quarters. But yeah, like I just break the machine and take the quarters out and we recycle the same quarters over and over again because fuck this building management place. And I was like, yeah, so things like that I was like, he's like, and I'm not going to steal the quarters. Like, I don't need $10 in quarters. I don't need $10 in quarters. I'm like,
were his piles, also, what accent are you doing? He seemed to have a regional accent. And you've switched it a little bit here and there. Which part of Baltimore / DC is this guy from?
It was more of a mentality that he was giving off.
Okay.
A vibe.
And the stacks. You could see the denominations? These were symbols?
No, I couldn't.
No.
Because they weren't even bound. They weren't like literal stacks that were like banded.
Just like
Yeah, it was like
piles.
piles of used cash.
That's amazing. This
Like
is
maybe he gets that out of the vending machine.
that's what I'm about to say. This man owns like 9 vending machines around
I believe
town.
it. He's a side hustle king. I'm telling you.
I think he might have dodged a bullet. I don't trust this guy. I
Yeah.
think those mannequins are old tenants.
They were. I mean, there were
I do
so
think-
many mannequins.
I do think that's a great move. If you're like, yeah, I'm worried about people breaking in, like putting this house is secured by ADT or beware, we don't call the police. Like that doesn't do much, but like
Yeah.
mannequins.
the equivalent of like a constant rain cloud over just your house, like just making it look
Yes.
creepy and haunted. You're like, man, let's not rob these people. Like, no, maybe the ghosts in there. Like, fuck us.
This house is secured by clown figurines.
Literally,
and
yeah.
then a little clown just slowly comes up behind it and goes up and down. Well, guys, we got a juicy little app for you today. We pray that Karla can find lodging with not someone who's so weird. AITA for telling our friends the real reason we didn't save them seats at an event, even though it upset my husband. But first, guys, please rate, review, subscribe. Join me on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod, 250 plus bonus episodes. Please join. Please.
Get on there.
Do it.
Come on, it's so much content, all ad free, by the way. I know you guys, the ads would go long. You don't need to deal with
We
ads.
dropped a couple celebrity secrets on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of juice.
I keep almost saying the wrong thing always.
We discuss everyone's allegations.
Yeah, boy. But first, folks, here we go. AITA. Boyfriend invited me to Vegas only to find out a week prior his friend will be sleeping in our same room.
Ugh.
My boyfriend, 36M, is going to a darts tournament in Las Vegas. I'm already out. He's the asshole.
Darts.
Shut up. He invited me, 35F, to come with first thing to know. It's a long distance relationship. Oh, God. Why are you dating a darts guy? And we don't see each other very often. 2 to 3 times a year?
Wow, that's like less than once a season.
First thing he says, his room came with a darts tournament bundle and it's a smoking room.
Gag.
And he plans on smoking lots of hookah.
Oh, double gag.
It's also just a regular low-end room, no chairs or anything.
Love that.
I've never heard of that
there a
tier
bed?
of room.
no chairs.
I'm like, I'd pay for an upgrade, but if you're really set on it, fine. So a week passes and I'm wondering how I'm going to get there. He says he'll buy the plane ticket. There's one inexpensive one, but it's a late flight. The rest are like 300 to 400 more. So I'm like, okay, fine. Let's do the late flight. And in my head, I'm just annoyed. I hate late planning because that usually means more expensive, crappier travel. So then he's like setting up the flight and he goes, oh, by the way, my best friend's brother is going to be staying in the room with us. Cool.
No.
I'm stunned and say, you're joking, right? And he says, no. I go, I've never met this guy in my entire life. Now you're telling me I'm about to share a room with him. He's like, what does it matter? I'll be there. I'm like, I'm not a man. I'm not in the army. Context, he's an army soldier. It is not normal for me to suddenly share with a man I've never met. I want my privacy. He thinks I'm overreacting and I'm stressing him out over a small detail. I'm like, it's not a small detail. This is a human being with whom I've never met that I'll all of a sudden be sleeping in the same room with. And then he starts getting upset. I'm ruining his vacation plans. So I tell him, buy him his own room. Him, that's out of the question. Me, why won't you stay with his best friend? Him, he's already staying with someone. Me, okay, I'm going to book my own room. Him, I can't agree to that. It's a waste of money. Me, it's a waste of money for my own comfort. Him, silence. Ugh, I start trying to make my case like, yo, this isn't cool and I'm not being unreasonable. Ask any woman out there. It's not okay. And he's like, I get you might be uncomfortable, but now I feel like I will be uncomfortable knowing you're uncomfortable.
Oh,
so maybe I need to rethink this. And he holds off on setting up any real travel plans. And this is what really sets me off. I booked my own flight with my own room with my own money, and he's upset about the wasted money and the fact that I disrespected his wishes. He's telling me to visit Vegas by myself. A few days go by, and I try to talk to him again about it. I told him I can compromise on getting a less expensive room, but he told me there's no compromise for him. He said, quote, I would rather you cancel your reservation if you don't want to do Vegas the way I want you to. So that's where I'm at, canceling my reservations. AITA.
Wow, the hardest eye roll ever.
Well, you got to put up with a lot to date one of these dark guys. I mean, they make thousands of dollars a year. So you're like, it's not like a regular relationship where it's a give and take. Like, it's their way or the highway, honestly.
I've never heard anyone be like, oh, yeah, this is a low tier of hotel room. No chairs. I don't even know what that is.
So you've You've never been to a hotel that's like just for prostitutes and tweakers. That's what it's
Dude,
for.
I
If
thought
they could offer a
Yeah.
hotel room with no bed, they would.
The hotel rooms that they rent out hourly.
yeah.
One time, no, I guess the worst hotel room I ever stayed in was in Kalamazoo, Michigan. This would have been in about 2014-ish when I quit drinking shortly thereafter. Now, me and my friends had undergone a comedy tour, which largely consisted of doing open mics in random places.
Yep,
So we ran out of steam driving from Nebraska or some shit to Chicago. So we ended up in Michigan. Pulled into the Motel 6 or Super 8, whatever, at 4 a.m. There were tweakers in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And we walked into the room and there were 2 beds and a chair. So I guess what I'm trying to say is
There was a chair.
I didn't know you could go lower than that. I kind of thought that was pretty close to the motel
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
And it's Vegas. There's so many cheap rooms. You can stay at the
Literally.
Luxor for
Right.
$50 a night. The Luxor
Yeah.
ain't that bad. I like the Luxor.
Yeah. And they have chairs and beds.
They have chairs, they have beds, and the
Non-smoking.
elevator doesn't go straight up and down, and that's interesting.
Mm.
Well, if you have a bad personality, it is.
Yeah.
So
There's so much wrong with this. Like, I don't like this guy, so I feel like I'm pretty biased overall.
I almost like want to just be like, of course you are not the assholes. That we are done with this.
Right.
We are moving on to give a darts player this much energy is insane. This guy must have a needle dick.
Do we even know if he's a darts player or he's just a dart enthusiast? Like, she doesn't say
is
he's competing.
going to a darts tournament.
Yeah. He might just be watching.
I think this is about like standards. I don't know. I know some people, oh, Donnie, be easygoing. You're too harsh. But I'm like, look, I just think that like, okay, do I think there's something endearing about a woman who's like, yeah, he doesn't have much. We're staring in a chairless room. Okay, that's fine. I'm like, that's kind of you that you're willing to go with that. And like money doesn't matter. That's great. But like literally everything he's channeling isn't even about the money. It's more about just like, I don't care about how you feel.
Absolutely.
In any way.
There's a lot of red flags on that.
Like raise your fucking standards, lady. Like I'm kind of mad at her for even indulging this fuck hat.
I agree. And my biggest thing, even beyond like her not feeling safe, like not knowing this guy and everything, I'm like, I literally see you 2 to 3 times a year. You're telling me we're not going to fuck because this loser is going to be in our fucking hotel room with us? Like,
Yeah.
we never get time together. And then if she bought a room that was nicer and he was like, nah, I don't want that. I want to do it my way. It's like,
Dude,
what?
I want to do
What
it
kind of
shitty.
ego fucking maniac
Hang
are
out with
you?
your
Yeah.
boy, and then that's it. We're done. Like that's
Yeah,
immediately.
it's not even your boy, it's your boy's brother.
It's crazy. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's just too much. This guy's a control freak.
100%.
She gave every solution too.
Yeah, you can't be more reasonable than
Yeah,
that.
but
You
you're
really
right,
can't.
Danny. He's giving like he went silent when she was like, "It's not worth my comfort," and he didn't have shit to say because he doesn't give a shit about your comfort.
doesn't.
OP.
I think it's about control.
This guy has to be either incredibly hot or this lady's self-esteem is just incredibly low. Because
I think it is very low.
There's just no. I can't think of a single good reason for why she's even in this scenario. To
That's
begin
true.
with.
A couple of times
Well-
a year, it's like that's not even. I don't even know what that is.
Well,
What?
if he's in the
Like-
army, that's potentially why
Oh.
they only see each other, and
Oh.
then that's another potential reason why she might stay with him. Is
I
for
read
the
that as-
benefits.
no, you're right. BF is an army soldier, not was.
Yeah.
So I guess that does make some sense.
So she might be getting that health care, baby.
That's fair. I just feel like, why even gather at this point?
Literally, yeah.
Sounds
Why even
horrible.
see each other?
Yeah.
Is it too early to go NTA? Because that's
No, you can
there's
go.
nothing
That's
else
a top
on this
comment.
Yeah.
He's upset about the wasted money when it's your money that you happily spent on yourself in order to feel comfortable on this trip. You get how concerning a statement. Then he quotes, he said, I'd rather you cancel your reservations if you don't want to do Vegas the way I want you to. You get how concerning a statement like that is. Do you really want a relationship with someone who insists that you need to do things his way or not at all? NTA. And I actually think that statement is concerning. And but I actually get happy now when people say something like that because I'm like, oh, I didn't know that's how you were. And that's what this is. Thanks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to listen. I've learned to listen and
I
not be
learned.
like, well, actually,
and it's done.
Take it at face value.
man, just push them away a little bit. Dissenting comment. Somebody actually wrote info. They didn't get enough here. How did you all make it to your mid-30s with this bull? Of course he's an idiot for thinking you would be fine, much less enjoying sharing a room with a rando. But honestly, lady, what are you even doing? It's a long distance with someone who doesn't care about you, who acts like a 19-year-old.
I'm starting to, it's so egregious that I'm like kind of mad at the lady for like, how did you get this far?
Yeah.
This has to be your high school sweetheart with like the perfect penis.
Yeah, dickmatized.
Because if this is just like
wow, they didn't even see each
Dickmatized?
other.
I have not heard that.
You never heard dickmatized?
No, that's funny.
Yeah.
This is just like a standard army issue kind of fat guy, like pre-cop build. Like this
Pre-cop build.
This lady is not fixable.
Raise your standards out there. I think try it. At least try it.
Yeah.
Try to be demanding. And then if they say no, then get the no. That's what
Yeah.
I'm asking you, ladies. I love a demanding chick. There's a chick I'm into and she's like, take me out to dinner. I'd be like, done. That's hot.
Right.
Done.
I say, OP, take yourself to Vegas and don't even tell him you're going. Have yourself
There's
a nice
a lot
little
of fun
vacation.
to be had there. A lot of reasonable hotel rates.
I'm thinking this info is a little sarcastic.
That's fair. That's fair. I actually recently was planning a Vegas. I'm going to Vegas for a thing, but I found out this is on the lure. This is a little bougie, but I'm gonna be honest. I always wanted to stay at the Four Seasons because it's like a 5-star hotel. It's really nice, and I always like the name of it. And then it's got that Four Seasons total landscaping. It's like in the meme lore. It's really funny.
Right.
So I started Googling Four Seasons Vegas, and there's a whole Reddit thread that's like, the Four Seasons Vegas isn't like the other Four Seasons, and it just broke my damn heart because it's the only affordable one.
Well, I guess that's why.
I know. So now I'm not going. And this chick isn't coming with me. AITA, BF invited me to Vegas. I think this is a whopping NTA, and he is.
Yes.
Break up with him, girl.
This guy sucks.
Yeah. Get rid of him.
Guys, por favor, rate, review, subscribe. Join me on the Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. 250 plus bonus episodes, every single episode ad free. I know you hear it and you glaze this out. Just pay. Just give me $5 a month to listen ad free. You're going to enjoy it. Every single episode. So many bonuses you haven't even heard. So much history, so much lore.
It's true.
People have told me it changed their lives.
Wow.
Listo.
Going through all my drama, my COVID breakups. Did you just say listo? Anyway, please join. I'd appreciate it. Much love. All right, guys. Our second story of the day. AITA for telling our friends the real reason we didn't save them seats at an event, even though it upset my husband. Hubs and I attended a ticketed event that he had invited some of our friends to. We gave them the tickets. Our friends were running late and I wanted to save them seats. There were plenty of available seats available. And many people were saving multiple spots, so it wasn't a situation where saving seats was against the rules or disruptive. My husband didn't want to. He said it was rude to save that many. We had 6 friends coming. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And told me not to micromanage an event he invited people to. I disagreed. I felt it was polite to save seats for people we invited, especially when it was clearly allowed and there was many available seats. But after he told me to sit down for a second time, I was like, fine. Didn't save any. When our friends arrived, they were disappointed they couldn't sit with us. At that point, there was still an option to move to another row so we could all sit together. Our row had empty spots, but it was like awkward. People sat 2 and then one empty seat. You know how it gets. But the only row with 6 seats together were 2 rows back, and my husband preferred the seats we already had, so we didn't move. This is so exhausting already.
Yeah.
We found 2 middle seats in front of us and told them, why don't they sit there? But they said, no, it's okay. We'll sit here and save these for our other friends. They wrote XX and YY. Our friends, which are just walking chromosomes. Our 2 other friends who were also late. I went up to them when we had all sat. The event had started to make small talk, and they asked us, why didn't we save them seats? I told them truthfully, I wanted to save you seats, but my husband said be rude. My husband was upset with me and said I threw him under the bus. He said I should have lied. Oh my God. And said we tried to save the seats, but they got there too late. But that wouldn't have made sense and there were so many rows. He feels I embarrassed him. From my perspective, I just didn't want to take responsibility for a decision I didn't agree with. And I low-key wanted him to understand he was being unnecessarily petty for not saving seats. He got angry, said I threw him under the bus. We get it. AITA. Oh, and he said that we should present as a united front. AITA.
No to all of this.
I hate this man so much.
Yes, thank you.
This is so This, you know what this is? This story is almost unbelievable, and it sounds like someone was watching 70s TV when they used to write the dad character so unreasonable and so crotchety, you know, that you're like, that's funny. That's so unreasonable. It's hilarious. It's a situation comedy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the level of like, I cannot conceptualize that this person is real.
It's so hard because there were so many options. 2 rows back's not a lot.
And then he refused to move.
Yeah,
right?
and then he refused to
that's
move.
freaking-
And then the
freaking
other
annoying.
friends refused to sit some in the front,
This is
which
like-
would have been an option. It's like, well,
It's like a first draft of a Curb script that Larry's like, this is too unreasonable. Let's make this like
Yes.
rewrite this.
Well, yeah, I could defend him a little bit. So I'm going to go see the new Tim Robinson movie, Friendship, at Vista. And Vista, it's a very popular theater. It's like, oh, film. It's true film, no digital. It's owned by Tarantino, whatever. So you got to get there like an hour early. There's no, what's that called?
reserved seating.
Reserve seats.
Back in the day, how it used to be.
Back that used to be. So we're going to get there an hour early. Come over. Oh, Donnie, I'm going to be late. I have work. It's like, shut up, work. I'm so sick of your bullshit. No, but anyway, and I was like, here's my policy. I'm going to save the seats. And if someone tries to fight me, I'm going to say, oh, my friends are coming. And then they go, there's no saving seats. I'm going to go, that's clean.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's reasonable. Like I can't go to war. Now we will try
how
to
many
use.
friends?
Well, I think there's 5 of us going. So, and 2 people will be late. So we'll do like a spread.
Mm-hmm.
We can do a strat. That's, you have to use strategy, right? So you do 1, open, 1, open, 1. That way it's going to be like, do you want to awkwardly sit in between us?
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna
Oh,
be
I would be
nice.
the person to be like, hey, can you move over so we can both sit here?
No, I can't move over. But you're welcome to sit there in the open seat because there's no
Yeah.
saving seats.
Yeah.
But we're allowed to position.
Yeah.
Positioning is legal.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I get both sides of this where the one thing I don't get is not owning up to your decision. That's what pisses me off the most, I think,
Can't
anything.
just be like, it was awkward. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Indefensible.
But it honestly wasn't
right.
awkward because the thing is, if this was like people were flooding in, seats were getting taken left and right, that feels tough to be like, oh, 6 seats for us and they're not here yet. And then sometimes your friends don't
6
even show up and you're like, oh, I just saved these and now I have to take my jacket off of it like an asshole.
And talking about positioning, right? Like 5, so there'll be 3 of us saving 2 seats. That's a great ratio. Like we have the majority. We'll take you out in a fist fight. We
Yeah.
have height advantage. One of the guys is pretty big. 2, am I reading this right? It's 2 people saving 6 seats?
Correct.
Like you have no tactical advantage here.
Nothing
Like,
there.
But they do. Well, their advantage is that there are plenty of seats that other people can sit in.
no, I think they could have pulled it off. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, I do feel like it is kind of a bad look if it's like one person, then 4 seats in between, then one other person, and they're like, we're saving all of these, and it's like, there's no saving seats.
How
I
bad
just
is your
don't even
social?
say
How bad is your
that.
social anxiety that you're like, I can't piss off 3 to 4 strangers from
Yeah.
my 4 or 6 absolute friends or something.
Or also lie and say they're in the bathroom. They're here.
They're
That's
here,
true. You just
yeah.
put random shit. There's like a
Yeah.
chip wrapper. Oh, really? He left his chip wrapper here? Yeah, those are his chips.
Yeah.
There's no chips in here. He's
Yeah.
done. He collects the wrappers. He's a wrapper collector and he's in the bathroom.
But you can say that. Like they're here, they're just walking up. I don't know. It's like
They're walking. They
come
just park. They just
on.
park. You could always say that in LA. They just park.
I low-key would throw my partner under the bus like that. If somebody was like, why didn't you save a seat? I'd be like, yeah, fucking Joe was a pussy and didn't want to fucking do it.
No, now we're getting to the core of it.
But I
'cause-
also would just save the seats myself without him.
ooh, that would have been a stand-up move.
If she just did it.
She's like, well, yeah, because if it's not a big deal, then why can't she just do it? And I really don't like. I have a couple friends. I don't get this vibe from you and Lily, but I haven't tried to engage you guys in a fight to try to divide you.
Wow.
like-
Warning.
No, I just hate when couples do present as a united front in a way where it's like, okay, y'all are 2 independent people. It's very immature to me.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just side with the pussy? That's what I was taught in church. That's what I think.
You just side with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Like I want, when I have couple friends, I'm like, yeah, I want both of your perspectives. Like I wouldn't expect you guys to think the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Presenting as united front, I feel like that phrase is stolen from addressing your children, which yes, is important, right? Because kids will suss this out
Yeah.
and they will break you.
Yeah, when
Well,
you're
it's
in a
stolen
position
from
of authority.
war, I think.
I don't believe in war. No.
When you're in a
That's
position
fair.
of
You got me there.
power.
You got me there.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Because you have to be united. in your decision. But if it's just your friends,
Aha.
it's like,
Okay, nailed. Yeah, I'm with you. If you're a manager, it's like manager, assistant manager. That needs to be united front to the little low level employees or whatever.
The only thing it's like, I want you to corroborate, like lie with me.
right.
I'm fucking up and you need to be fucking up with me.
That violates, principle, which I find hard to deviate. Reporting is legal. She's like, yeah, he did this. I disagreed. But I didn't stand up. I would actually, if she said that, I'd be like, that's clean. She's like, he wanted to do it. I went with him. I didn't fight him.
Right.
I would save the
How
seats
good is
just
this-
so I wouldn't have to just be with him.
How good is this show that like he can't be 2 rows further back? You know what I mean? Because like
That's what I'm saying. The rows are very close most of the time. Like it's not.
it can't be Hamilton, right? Like what is he watching that he's like,
Yeah.
if I'm further from Hillsong, Jesus doesn't love me as much, or what? Like what's the fucking like?
from Hillsong? That's a really funny reference. Actually, I just watched Interstellar, which oh my god, it made me cry so much. But anyway, it's funny. It's kind of like it had a second wind. They read whatever. So there's the whole subreddit. Yes, I read the whole subreddit after watching a movie. Fuck you. I'm like a Reddit guy. And anyway, so one of the
Do not
top,
do that with Birth of a Nation. You're gonna hate that.
The
Oh
Birth
my
of a, I love the
gosh.
Birth of a Nation subreddit. I'm just kidding. So anyway, one of the top comments is like, I got to see one of the re-releases because they put it on IMAX and they're sitting in the front seat in IMAX.
Why?
It's so funny because like at that angle, the faces look like really stretched out, like a really long face. It looks like
Yeah.
shit, bro. It's so funny.
It's so bad. Why would you put yourself through that?
I know because people are diehards about it.
Hmm.
Anyway,
You're not the asshole. That's my feeling.
not the asshole. I think this guy needs therapy. This is too far gone. I'm like, bro, you need to man up a little bit. And I would say, like, for a woman who's like, yeah, I don't want to have confrontations. I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of why you get a fucking husband, to be a little bit confrontational. Top comment, NT. Oh, Denny, that's gender. Okay, fine. Toxic expectations, I guess. Street LinkedIn 9871. NTA, first, they're not late. The event has not started yet. And your husband is wanting his cake and to eat it too. Not fair to make you either lie or take the blame for a very rude thing he made you do.
Yes.
I think that's spot on.
That you were down to do
Agreed.
by yourself.
Truth.
Yeah.
Top dissenting comment, shut up. Kate Inoli writes, I think it'd be very rude for 2 people to try to occupy 8 seats. I really dislike when my husband and I get to a show and can't find 2 decent seats together because they're all saved for people who couldn't be bothered to get there on time. YTA for tattling.
No.
I think
Fuck that person.
I think it's not. The thing is, the rudeness, here's where I think it's not rude to try. And it's not rude to override.
Right.
I agree. And I think that, yeah, it is annoying when you go somewhere and people are on time. But this particular person, OP, said there were plenty of seats. Like she said it. She was like, I felt like we could save seats because there were so many other seats still available. She might have felt differently if every other seat was taken. And then it's like, oh shit, like maybe we can't save 6 seats because we're going to constantly have people coming up to us asking us for these
Well,
seats.
I mean, it does reach a point, right? Like as we get closer to the start of the show where people are like, where are they? Then all the bullshit's like,
Yeah.
really? Oh, really? Yeah, really? Yeah, really? They're here. They're already here. It's like starts to get heated because it's like, well, now you're being a dick. It's like, it is first comes, first serve. And there is no saving seats.
Yeah.
It's somebody is being gentle with you by letting you save seats.
Mm-hmm. Tell that to South
What
by
kind of cover band are they watching that has no
I
one
know,
assigned
what
seats? Like,
shitty-
where are you?
It might be. I will like. Oh no, I guess even at the Greek they have it.
This
and
has
Hollywood
to be a
Bowl
church
they all
event.
do.
No, this is a church thing.
Were you guys, who was defending
like
a
an
cover band to me
amphitheater.
recently?
Me.
Is that you?
Yeah.
It's funny.
Where did that come from?
Because I was talking shit. I was like, yeah, people in LA are so corny. They like cover bands. And then you were like, oh, there's this great ABBA cover band.
Well, I don't know that they're great. My friend's just in it.
Loves
They're
it.
very popular.
They're
is
very
what they
popular.
are.
I have
Yeah.
a funny
Cool, yeah.
premise.
I think they are great. But
I
yeah.
think you should do cover bands, but only when the artist becomes disgraced.
I like
You
that.
know what I mean? So the second
Like
you're
Kanye.
their name.
yeah, like there should be a Kanye cover band,
band.
right? So we can enjoy
Yeah.
the music without him
Yeah,
getting
that's good.
That's smart.
And they shouldn't ask the original artist for consent to do it.
No, they don't need
Radu,
to.
yay. Let's go.
Yeah, what?
Radu, yay.
She's
Let's
trying
go.
to do like my name.
Oh, Radu, yay. Oh,
Yeah.
It would just be
Ra.
Raye, right?
Yay.
Right, yeah.
So AITA for telling our friends the real reason we didn't save them seats at an event, even though it upset my husband. I think this is NTA and he is. Get therapy, bro. It's time to man up a little bit, or at least take accountability at
Sorry,
bare mins.
yeah.
At bare mins.
Gree.
I get you might have some sort of anxiety, but you got to own it.
Rate, review, subscribe. Join me on Patreon, please. 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 Every single episode ad-free, 250 plus bonus episodes. We love it. All right, boy. All right, bros. What am I saying?
I don't know.
All right, y'all.
There we go.
My lovers. Why am I saying this stuff? I love you guys. Here we go. Wrapping up on AITA bought a new toy to make a point. We've been together for 27 years, married for 24, got 2 kids. One kid is quote unquote on her own, living in my basement with her boyfriend. We have radically definitions of on her own. And the other is about to head to university. Since all I've ever really known is being a dad, it has been my hobby, duty, passion, all rolled into one. Since they don't need me the same way these days, I picked up a hobby, flying remote control planes. My wife hates the idea of me doing anything outside of her presence.
What?
It's become a bit controlling. Now, we've been through a lot, as anyone with a long-term partner, and she's as good a partner as I could hope. Last year or so, I've had some consulting work come along that I'll accept calls with clients for a few $100s. I've been wanting to buy a new plane, so I tucked the money from 2 of these calls into a different card. Whenever I even talk about the hobby, wife is angry. I mentioned grabbing something before these idiotic tariffs take hold here in the US, and it was a fight. I went and ordered it from the side fund. It will be here this week. My thought is I made money we don't need, tucked it out of our normal bank, and bought a plane. I kind of feel like one, but it also feels like I'm being controlled. AITA. First of all, let me just say, I've always loved remote control things. When I was a kid, we used to actually, I was thinking about this, it's so crazy. So my dad would buy, we had the rockets. You ever do SS rockets as a kid? It was basically, dude, it was literally just like a plastic tube, and then you would buy these engines. And then it would, and the engine was basically just a firecracker, really. And then it would launch the rocket up. And then if things went well, and they almost never did, the top would pop off and then it would parachute down. So there's no really control, but you could, launch it.
Yeah.
That was cool. And then this is the crazy one. We had we had a helicopter. And it was 2 blades, and one was big and it would slow it down. And then one was small, maybe 5 inches. Not that that's small! And,
oh, wow.
And my dad would do it because it would cut your finger clean off. And you would spin it. It would kickstart, right? So you'd spin it with your finger. And then it would just fucking and just fly. And then the big blades would kind of slow it down as it fell. Because this is before drones and all that shit. And that's kind of my gripe as a little bit of a millennial here, is that the drones are so good. There's no risk with them. They're object detected. You could impact battery low. It's there's no room for failure. And so you can just be a total idiot. They're too idiot.
I think they are. I think they're actually really dangerous still. And a lot of risk is involved still with drones, which at first I thought you said Jerome. And I was like, who's Jerome? And why are you flying?
Oh, Jerome.
him?
Yeah, we fly this guy named Jerome. He's a little bug, our little bug friend.
But drones are still very dangerous. But I get what you're saying.
I mean, I have
more automated.
No, you're right. I mean, there was a woman at Echo Park recently. This genius was her bareback propellers that could just bonk you right in the eyeball. Yeah. She's flying it at eye level in the middle of the path.
Terrifying.
And so I always start these interactions the same way. And I'm like, hi, really nice drone you have. Such a Trojan horse. And then I'm like, yeah, you're flying it at eye level. Are you trying to hurt people?
Yeah.
And the geese. Oh my God.
They make the ones with a little bumper condom thing on them.
I know. I'm like, you just got raw dog propellers out here, lady. You crazy?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you guys seem quiet on this one. My read on this is we've been together 27 years. I got a feeling this ain't a bad lady. I got a feeling she's a great mom. And I got a feeling that maybe the issue is that she's controlling you because something's not being fulfilled with her, and she needs you to help her, bro. And instead you're fucking punting around with your little airplanes.
Yeah, I don't know how to pathologize it, honestly.
I mean, I get that because I feel like, what was it? Wife swap, baby. I'm still watching it. Still watching Wife Swap. And in one of the Wife Swaps, she was type A anal cleaning. Everything was clean to the point where her family was like, we're not asking for this. Stop spending 6 hours a day cleaning. We don't fucking care. But then that in itself was her trying to be useful, and then them being we don't fucking care about what you're doing. And then she's like, well, I'm spending all this time doing this thing that you don't even appreciate. And it's this vicious cycle of her not knowing where she stands or what she's supposed to be doing, because she doesn't have anything now that the kids have grown up and left the house. So it does seem like he found a hobby and potentially she doesn't have one of her own, which is why she wants to be around all the things he's doing. But I don't think that he should not buy a hobby plane because she's against it. I think it's an asshole move that he has a different bank account.
Start a hobby plane affair. Obviously, that's.
I think you're right, though. He should be including her more.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're with someone for 27 years and this is your sole gripe, he doesn't mention anything else. You guys successfully raised 2 kids. I mean, one lives in the basement, but honestly, these days, I'm like,
good as it gets.
That's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't really believe that she's crazy because this is kind of like she's being crazy.
I don't think he says that she's being crazy.
But that's
he says
the idea,
hates
right?
the idea of me doing anything outside of his presence. It's
Well, that's
become a bit
crazy.
controlling. I think that there's somewhere between being crazy and being not having anything else going on.
But yeah, I agree with that. But what I'm trying to say is it's like he's so blind to her side that she seems like she's just doing something randomly controlling. And I'm like, you obviously love this person. So I think he's not seeing something with her. And I think you should help her through that. That's part of marriage. I mean, I think you nailed it. That seems like it. It's empty nester syndrome.
Yeah.
And she's like, maybe she isn't ready to quite move on. And he needs to help her with that. Instead of sneakily buying, bro, you shouldn't be doing that.
Look, never sneakily buy anything in a marriage.
Yeah.
Unless it's a surprise gift.
Truth.
And even that can get you in troubles.
For your mistress.
She's up to no good.
Just kidding.
I kind of always love a codependent where they're like, my wife just can't be alone without me. You know what I mean? Like there's something. If we were like talking about stuff 100 years ago, you're like, yeah, that's what it is. They don't know how to function without each other, whatever. You know,
it's
well, that's how men built the system. We're like, we'll just give women no credit cards or anything, and we'll force them to be dependent on us.
But they backdoor to dependence on them as well. We're like, I don't know how to cook food or do laundry or do anything.
Oh my God, I know, bro. I'm so worried. I'm not worried.
Literally the foundation of a life.
But I'm like, I hope my parents, my mom sees this. I'm just like, I need my dad to die first. 'Cause my dad, I'm not taking care of that motherfucker.
When my grandma died and she left just my grandpa or whatever, literally there was hundreds of adults they're like, how is he going to do anything?
Hundreds.
They were like, they would be like, oh, so you saw Tryon. How's he going to eat breakfast? He doesn't know how to do anything
I'll
by
tell
himself.
you how.
Yeah, I was like, he was the director of a factory that had thousands of employees. They're like, yeah, but he doesn't know what temperature anything is cooked at.
It does not translate. It does not translate. My friend's grandmother passed away last year, and I remember her saying that, like, oh, we're really worried because he like doesn't do a lot of stuff. She's a homemaker. She's been taking care of his ass. Like this guy went and found himself a new girlfriend. That's what he did.
I got a solution.
Yeah. And they like her at least. Like, it's actually a good person.
Yeah.
But they were like, how is he going to survive? Oh, find someone else to do
It's
it.
that or a caretaker. And obviously, dicking down a new lady sometimes is cheaper than a nurse.
And it's legal.
Radu's grifty wisdom.
If the lever still works, if the handle still, that thing be thanging. You know?
The thing be thanging, then get you a new thing.
Oh my gosh.
I want to just see this guy try a little harder. If it was like, I keep talking to her about what this might be coming from. It's like, let's explore a little bit with the wifey, you know, let's get in there. Why is she being controlling? It's like, it just seems a little bit like, well, she said no and I went behind her back. And I'm like, well, your job is to help lead and work together.
The reason I was like, I was like, I wonder, has he done this before? Is this a pattern of like, this is how we deal with things? Like she's just like against stuff and I do it and there's no conflict whatsoever.
Yeah.
She'll never figure it out. Or is this a new development from year 27? Things have changed, like you were kind of alluding to, like the dynamic is giving her a need to hold on to things or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Why
have no
doesn't
idea.
she like the planes?
There's a lot of reasons.
Because he wants to do it by himself.
Yeah.
He's going to do a tiny 911.
9/11.
He's going to do a miniature.
The neighbors into model cities.
Oh my gosh.
And then I will finally have all the oil in tiny Iraq. That'd be really funny. Geopolitical, like old guys with models.
I found your tiny Muhammad Atta's passport at the base of my room.
Yeah, I think it's interesting the TLDR that he put, which is wife isn't keen on my hobby, made some side money and bought a plane. Am I the asshole? That clearly like shows us what he thinks the problem is versus like what it actually is.
I wonder if the wife even knows about the side
I've
money.
moved on. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Nothing puts me off. Life has taught me this. When I say, like, if someone goes, oh, yeah, oh, that person's such a dick, blah, 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 and I haven't seen it, and, like, I go, well, what would they say? What would they say that you've done to them? And they can't give me anything.
Yeah.
Anything. I'm always like, I don't know.
You think it's impossible?
No, I don't think it's impossible, but it just like, even people who did me mad dirty, I'm like, no, I know. Like, there were things that I did were ambiguous.
Yeah.
Isn't ambiguous enough? And like, I would say if I was on their side, they would take that ambiguous thing as evidence that I'm a bad person or that I hurt them, or maybe they were hurt by it, because it was a playful joke, like, ooh.
Yeah.
So it's like the ability to like perspective take is very important. That's your goddamn wife. So just see it from her side. Top comment by Fred Franny Freckles. Wrote NTA, if your wife can spend a similar amount of money on something she enjoys, but you and your wife should decide how much play money you each get. It's perfectly reasonable for her to want you to prioritize things other than your toys, but this is where having a budget on how much you can each spend on non-essentials comes in. Potter Squash writes, I don't get how you're feeling control when you did everything you wanted on your own. Now empty nesting is the thing. We all do it in our own way. This seems more like you're dealing better with it than her, so hope you give some grace.
Ah, there you go.
This is the first time you've hidden money you all usually share. YTA. If this was done to make a point, YTA. I agree with that. I'm like, yeah, why don't you be there for her and take it as a, have the sophistication and the maturity to be like, hey, what's this really about? Because I'm just trying to fly a fucking plane.
Yeah, and it is something, and he knows it. That's why he hid the monies.
All husbands' hobbies should be fixing their wives anyway. I mean, we read the good book, right?
We read the good book.
We fixed you so you could fix us back.
I also like how the TLDR says bought a plane, and it's like, sweetheart, you bought a remote control plane.
Yeah, dog.
And from a wife's perspective, at least he's buying a fucking $1,000 little thing.
$800, yeah, a couple
Cessnas
days.
start at what? 50 easily for a used Cessna. The death trap.
Yeah.
You don't even want that. An ultralight. Count me out.
Can I share a sweet memory?
Of course.
Yes, Karla.
One time I was dog sitting in the Palisades, and we got to this little viewpoint, me and the dog, and I got him to sit up on the bench with me. Mm-hmm. And we had like this moment where we were like looking over the ocean, and I had my arm around him and everything. And like from the back, I could just like imagine like just like a comic book strip of like a girl and her dog looking at a thing. And then this lady rolled up and she started flying one of those RC planes. She looked like the homeless woman in Home Alone, the pigeon lady.
Okay.
The unhoused lady.
Okay.
She looked like her kind of, but she started flying this plane, and I was like, this is so sweet. And it was just like,
oh, it was cute. Okay.
Yeah, it was super cute. And it was just like a core memory that I had, was just like, just me and my dog watching this unhoused lady fly her little plane in the Palisades, and I'll never forget it. And I was like, if anything, I want to have a hobby like that brings joy to strangers in public.
That's so sweet. My mind is so ruined. I kept picturing you by the dog, and then you and the dog kind of make eye contact and like look away, like we're not looking at each other, and then you just look at each other and you start making out.
Oh no, I don't make out with Bojack.
Oh, it was Bojack.
It was Bojack.
I love Bojack.
Of course it was Bojack.
Sweet Bojack. AITA bought a new toy to make a point. I'm sorry, guys. I am at soft YTA. I'm like, I don't believe that your wife of 27 years who you raised 2 kids with is just randomly being controlling. I feel like you need to do a little bit more work and be a little bit of a partner, damn it.
Agreed.
Yeah, worst case scenario, she's actually like developing a schism, a mental illness or something, you know what I mean? And your solution is like, I'm gonna ignore this bitch with my toys.
Yeah. I'm doubling down.
So true.
Guys, that's the app. Guys, plug away. Thanks for listening.
Please follow me on Instagram. It's my name, Radu Bandar. I won't spell it for you. You got to sound it out. But I got a lot of cool stuff coming, and it's just all going to be on there.
Woohoo! Follow me on Instagram at fun_KEE. That's fun_KEE. My pilot is screening soon this month, May 23rd, at our social club. That's exciting.
Yeah, reach out.
Find all the information. It's very funny, and it's going to be better than whatever new Tim Robinson movie you watch.
Uh-oh. All right, guys. Much love. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Adios.